Welcome to Limb Driven TV, and today we are at Trophy Hunter Supply, and today we're going to be going over just about everything you need to know about doing a high momentum build. We have a couple bows here we'll be discussing, we have a couple arrows we're going to be building up, tuning, we'll be discussing broadheads. So if you're looking for a one-stop video series to be able to discuss everything for a high momentum build, this is the one to be watching. Here's part 1. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2 and part 3. So here we go. Here's Rob. He's going to be the specialist. How's it going, Rob?
Hey,
So we traveled up to Green Bay area to head to this shop. It's probably one of the best shops we've ever been at for high momentum builds, and obviously helping a lot of customers get builds that it's stuff that we approve. And if you guys have been watching our channel for a while, you know that's a arrow with the highest FOC, that is the heaviest, that has the trajectory that we are most comfortable with. That's what we're about. I know that's what you're about as well.
Yep.
And so today I want you to kind of walk me through everything I need to know about making a high momentum build. Again, this is part 1 of 3, and it's going to be about the bows and the accessories. So what do we got going on here? You laid 2 out.
Yeah. So just kind of grab 2 bows that are getting a little bit of attention right now. We've got the Bowtech Realm X, and then the new PSC Evolve 28.
Is the Realm X kind of a target one, or is I can still use that for hunting?
The Realm X is kind of a bit of a hybrid.
Okay.
Because it's a little longer axle to axle, so a little better balance, a little better stability, but it's got a shorter brace height.
Okay.
So it's kind of for that guy that is, hunting, but also doing some competitive stuff. You might want some of those other little features, but it's a phenomenal bow for kind of multi-purpose.
Okay. I see one of the differences in them is one's yoke and one is shim, and I had a couple questions from people online, and this is something that we kind of wanted answered, and so your opinion would be great. Is there a reason you would choose one or the other? Like, which one are we choosing today to work with, and why?
My personal preference is to use Yokes, and it's purely from an ease of use kind of standpoint.
All right.
Even if you're a guy at home that just has like a little portable press, it's very quick to be able to just make a yoke adjustment.
Okay.
With a Shims system, you're doing the exact same thing. You're adjusting the cam lean, adjusting the cam position, but with Shims, you're having to actually pull the axle, swap trims.
So it's just a lot more.
It's just more labor intensive.
I could save a lot of time.
You
by
can do
just
the exact same thing with both. This is just quicker.
Awesome. One of the other questions I had from a viewer that sent in was bow poundage. So obviously we're going to be doing kind of a high momentum build. Can I be 60 pounds? Can I be as low as 50? Can I be as high as 80?
You can be 40 pounds. You can be 100 pounds. It really depends on your comfort level and your condition, your strength level. The big thing that I always tell people is don't overbow yourself. Don't go into a higher poundage bow purely because you're thinking you need it or you have to have it.
Right.
You want to be able to comfortably draw the bow. Real easy way to tell: sit down in a chair, take your feet off the ground, and try and draw your bow. If you can't do that, you're overbowed, in my opinion.
I think that's great. But the other thing to keep in mind is, for us, we're in the northern Midwest, so it's kind of cold, and I think that's a really good example because now with the blood flowing, a buck might come in.
You've been sitting at negative degrees for 6 hours.
So I was going to say, if it's cold, I need to be able to draw my bow.
Yeah.
So I think that's a
and
great
you need
example.
to be able to do it under control.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing is you don't want to have to rip that bow back and make a bunch of noise and movement. You want to be in control the entire way.
Right.
And you have to have a poundage that allows you to do that.
Yep. So the last question I think that we'll have to cover from the viewer, and that is all the buzz right now in the high momentum building community is that 650 grain threshold and that 19% FOC, and everything you just said about poundage, I can still run 650 even at low
I mean,
low poundage.
I have customers that are like around 40 pounds that are running 6 to 650 grain arrows.
Really?
And it's a comfort thing. Some people, it's out of the question. But it's a matter of understanding what you're wanting out of the build.
Okay.
and what level of insurance you're wanting out of the build, and then what you're willing to give up for trajectory.
Right.
That's if you're short draw, low poundage, you're not going to have the same range as someone like me that's shooting 80-30.
Right.
It's just what it is.
And I think the range thing was a really thing to bring up. So I think next we're going to move over to the section of his shop that has the sights. And with this bow build, a lot of the buzz with what guys are wanting is being able to shoot 80 to 100 yards.
Yep.
So
long range practice.
Did we decide on a certain bow, and then we'll head over to?
I think we're gonna for this one. We're gonna run with the Realm X.
The Realm X
as just kind of a great multi-purpose. You can run it for 3D competitive. You can hunt with it. It's still small enough to use in blinds.
All right. And 70 pounds, I think, is what I'm seeing on there.
This one is 60. Yeah, this is a 60-pound bow.
60 pound. Well, that's perfect. So we'll do a high momentum build with a 60-pound Realm X, and let's try and get 80 yards. You think that's possible?
We can probably do
Let's
that.
try and get 80 yards. So we'll head over to the sights and let's discuss those. Before we get going on the sights and then eventually the arrows and broadheads, we need to discuss a little bit about a rest. And this is something that Rob pointed out to me right away. Rob, take it away. What is it?
For guys that like doing their own tuning, that like being able to fine tune and adjust in the field, like with long distance walk back type stuff, having micro adjust is huge. When you crack it loose, it's not going to move accidentally, and you have to start from square one essentially. So, for the best bang for your buck is this Hamsky. It's got micro adjust on it, and it's just it allows you to do that fine tuning. You know, if you're having a shop do all the work, now it's a matter of, you know, cable versus limb driven. If you don't like having the string for the limb driven, then your standard QAD or like the new Virtus from HHA are great options.
Nice. So let's move to the sights then.
Yeah.
We're here at the sights, and Rob's kind of got a good setup going. So explain to me what's in your hand,
So,
and then
there's a couple of different options depending on your personal preference, really. If you're a person that really likes having all those fixed references, then whatever range you're wanting, you need to run a multi-pin with enough pins to do it. And this really is going to come down to what your bow specs are, what your speed is, and then how those pins fall, right? So if you've got enough bow for the arrow that you're running, you can still hit 80, 90 yards with the right multi-pin.
but it's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. You know, if you're low poundage short draw, you're going to run out of room, right? There's a set. Your housing isn't moving, and there's only so much room.
Okay.
In those houses.
So then my best option, and something that he pointed out to me immediately when I came, was
best option, and what I'm using right now. I do have a heavy draw, long draw length, but I like really heavy arrows. So for me, what I kind of fell in love with last year was this Fast Eddie double pin. And what this does is it's a single post with 2 fibers on it, and then it's equal distance from the top fiber to the second fiber to the bubble. So in essence, you actually have 3 different reference points that you have known yardage for at whatever position the housing's at. So like earlier this year, I had my top pin at 100. I then knew that my second pin was at 110 and my bubble was about at 118. It gives you options without any of the clutter. So for me, I don't like clutter.
all right. Well, that's probably what we'll go with, and let's move to arrows. Then we'll probably have to choose the arrow. I think I have an idea though of what I want. Of course, we're here by the arrows and the broadheads, and this is what is setting your shop apart. You guys have quality arrows and broadheads, stuff that I definitely approve of after all of my, structural integrity testing flight, shooting a few animals with the Grizzlystik system. That's what I want to run. That's what I recommend, guys, and that's what we're going to be tuning up today. What you got? TDT 240s. That's what I'm definitely choosing, and we'll put 50 grains of brass in one of them. And then he already chose a broadhead. This is going to be probably your favorite, right?
Yeah, I mean it's my personal go-to for. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick one head for anything, it's going to be the Messiah. It's just a very durable head that has proven itself to me and countless others. It's just one of those where if I had to choose one,
That's what it's going to be. All right, well, we're going to get to building those arrows, and that's going to be video 2. So thank you guys for watching the first part. This was choosing the bow and why, the components. We want to get 80 yards out of a 60-pound bow. We want to be able to bust bone. It's a high momentum build. This is video number 1. Stay tuned for video number 2. Thank you guys for watching.